Chapter 1175. When Michael came out of the ward with a bunch of test application forms, the lady hurried forward and asked, "What did the doctor say? How is the situation? Is there anything serious?" Michael didn't want to talk to the lady at first, but when he thought that the lady would have to look at various inspection reports when she looked back, he couldn't hide it, so he cried and said, "The doctor told me that it is very likely to have gonorrhea and syphilis. There are some inflammations, and the possibility of AIDS is not even ruled out." When Mrs. Richard heard this, she looked terrified, and subconsciously stepped back. Michael thought that the lady was frightened, and hurriedly stepped forward to help her without standing still. As a result, Lady Richard hurriedly waved her hands and said in horror, "You stay away from me and don't touch me. AIDS is terrible. I haven't lived enough yet." Michael's expression was extremely ugly, and he realized that his mother was afraid of infecting her. "My own mother is really realistic." So he had to sigh and said, "Mom, in this case, then you can wait for me here, and I will check it myself." Mrs. Richard hurriedly said, "Oh, I'm old and a little tired. I'm going home first. After checking the results, remember to take pictures and send them to my WeChat as soon as possible." In fact, Lady Richard is not tired, she is really scared. The lady lives to the present, the most feared thing is death. Anything related to death, or that might make her die or make her life short, she will stay far away and stay away. Now that she heard that her eldest son might get AIDS, the first thing she thought of was not the safety of her son, but herself. Michael also knew what kind of person his mother was. He sighed helplessly and said, "It doesn't matter if you go back, but you have to give me some money, otherwise, how can I pay the examination fee later, in case the doctor wants to give it to me? What about prescribing medicine? Medical expenses are still needed." While walking outside, Mrs. Richards said without looking back, "I will send you $10,000 on WeChat right away. If it is not enough, you can tell me." After speaking, people have already passed out andrology. Michael's heart was depressed, and his own mother was so selfish at all times, and she really did not disappoint herself at all. However, the most important question for him right now is to quickly confirm what diseases he has suffered. Gonorrhea and syphilis are not big things. The big deal is to spend more trouble and suffer more. As long as you don't get AIDS, then everything is easy to say. He felt that if he really got AIDS, his life would be over, so he could just go home and kill Lucy. Michael stayed in the hospital for an afternoon. After doing a lot of various examinations, the final conclusion was almost the same as the doctor's initial judgment. First of all, gonorrhea and syphilis are confirmed. Secondly, urethritis is also very serious. In addition, there is some ulceration and suppuration. Fortunately, there is no AIDS. Then the doctor immediately prepared a treatment plan for him, starting with a 20-day first-stage treatment cycle.